field news, but in 2014, BuzzFeed did a check your privilege calculator that's always kind of baffled me. You can find a link to it in the description if you're interested, and if you do take it, please share your score with me in the comment section of the video. So I decided to go through the whole thing and see what my privilege, according to BuzzFeed, is, and somewhat unsurprisingly, I wound up with a score of 26 out of 100, which informed me that, and I quote, "You are not privileged at all. You grew up with an intersectional, complicated identity, and life never let you forget it. You've had your fair share of struggles, and you've worked hard to overcome them. We do not live in an ideal world, and you had to learn that the hard way. It's not your responsibility to educate those with more advantages than you, but if you decide you want to, go ahead and send them this quiz. Hopefully, it'll help." And then, there is a big, angry, red box at the bottom that says, "You are not privileged." Okay, at some point I'm going to be looking at the individual tick boxes and getting irate at them. But first of all, I wanted to give you some background on me. At 24, I became a homeowner. I live in a detached house in a semi-rural area of the UK. I have 3 horses and 4 acres of land that I rent for them to live on. I'm happily married. My relationship with my husband is pretty great. I have 3 dogs. I have not only a 4K television that is of a ridiculous size, but a computer that cost me around £2,500 that also has a 4K capable monitor. Now, I'm aware that this is a stupid internet quiz geared at telling people that they are, in fact, special and people should pussyfoot around them because life is hard and well. But this is genuinely the sort of media that cultivates this pathetic need to be the victim. Skeptor said in a video recently, again, check it out in the description, that 20-somethings these days haven't hit psychological puberty, which, for the most part, I really agree with. But it's things like this that stunt mental growth. The internet basically harbours some kind of mental growth-stunting gas that kind of seeps into impressionable brains and sort of forces them into these little echo chambers where all they do is regress until they become social justice warriors. It's not great really, but I digress. I am a victim. BuzzFeed told me so. I am not privileged at all. The internet said it. It must be true. So apparently I grew up with an intersectional, complicated identity and life will not let me forget it. Surely everyone who has grown up with this. Intersectionality suggests that everything we experience cultivates us into the person we are today, as I understand it. If I'm wrong, please tell me. That the fact that I grew up with divorced parents, one of whom is mixed race, should be taken into account when I look at my life as a whole. Because of my mother and father being divorced, I am not as well off as a kid whose parents stayed together. Because my dad is mixed race, I don't have a decent head start in life. I was ill a lot as a child, and when I took my exams in secondary school, I had a 46% attendance record for that year. Because of my complicated upbringing, this meant that I only managed to pull 5 A grades out of a possible 8 subjects. 5 A grades on less than half attendance for the school year. 5. Clearly, no one was surprised at my inability to learn. I mean, after all, I came from a single-parent household, and I had no sort of stability growing up. Oh, fuck right off! I did well in school because I wanted to learn, and I didn't let being sick or other kids being uninterested in subjects affect my work. I mean, if I'd have been there 100% of the time, I imagine I would have come out with 8 A's instead of 5. But 5 A's, I'm proud of that. That's impressive. So, apparently I've had my fair share of struggles and have worked hard to overcome them. Yeah, sure, whatever. Of course I have. Everyone in life has struggles. I've had some of the worst kinds of boyfriends. I moved out of my family home at 15. I have had a complicated relationship with both friends and family, but they weren't these struggles to overcome. They were actual, genuine parts of growing up and living life. Not everything is a hardship. Even if it was shit at the time. I mean, I'm not by nature a fucking victim. Not everything goes smoothly 100% of the time, and sometimes things are hard, and sometimes they're easy, and when they are easy, there are still stupid, petty little issues that crop up, and they make things difficult, but everything is relative. A millionaire might still have a child, that decides to go on a hunger strike because their fucking university doesn't pander to their every need. That is a difficult issue that needs to be overcome, and it has no bearing on how privileged a child is. I didn't learn that we don't live in the ideal world the hard way. I learnt it in my own way. I got myself into stupid situations, regardless of the support of my divorced parents, and I got out of them. Sometimes I had help, sometimes I did not have help. But that's just life. Any kid from any background could go through the same or similar things as me. It doesn't make it any better or any worse for that person, their background. It's got no bearing on it. And it is not my responsibility to educate those with more advantages than me. And if I decide I want to, I should go ahead and send them this quiz, because hopefully it'll help. Well, I got a score of 26, so fuck you guys. I'm oppressed, and if you say that I'm not, you are actually oppressing me? What complete and utter bullshit. I think it's more my responsibility to point out how ridiculous this is, not to educate people about how their privilege makes them unable to have opinions or speak their mind. People need to start realising that just because I cannot tick a box that says I am a man, that does not mean that I'm any less of a person, or that I can just go and claim victimhood purely for having a vagina. That is pathetic, and that is completely wrong. Well, thank you very much for watching this. I will be putting up a few videos regarding the individual tick boxes that I encountered on my journey, and I will include my opinion on their relevance at some point in the future. So like, comment, subscribe, all that nonsense, and I will see y'all soon. Yeah.